What's up, Taurus? How are you guys doing? It's bonus time. Time for your May 2025 bonus reading. So what I'm doing when I do bonus readings is I am hitting on some details, situations, or scenarios that were missed, skipped over, or for whatever reason just didn't make it into the first round of monthly readings. So, for those of you in need of a personal reading, you can find all the information on how to go about doing that right down here in the description of this video. And for those of you catching this on time, because this is still technically being recorded in the month of April, got about a week. And my course on the steps to true healing is going bye-bye. So I think that's a pretty important course. Has some pretty important information. That's why I made it so cheap. I don't know when I'll be breaking that course back out again. But the link is in the description. And again, May 1st, it goes bye-bye. All right. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah. Don't forget, we've got our handmade crystal jewelry on my website as well. Most of it is handmade by my wife and my daughter. Some of it's handmade by myself. But we got plenty of that stuff. We got enough crystals to stock a whole damn crystal store. So as it sells, we will continue to restock it. So check my website out for that as well. All right, let's hop into this. I want to start these off with general messages. So general, career, finance, friends, family, anything but romance. What general messages do we have for Taurus? Universe. What general messages do we have for Taurus for the month of May? General messages for the month of May. Let's see. Ooh, Queen of Pentacles. That's you right there, boo-boo. I don't know what to say about that yet, though, so hang on just a second. Two more shuffles, two more. Ooh, look at that. Got that world card right there. Hang on. Ooh, hang on. Okay, so there's actually, that's interesting. There's a few different messages happening here. So you are entering into a new cycle. I think this Taurus season, things are going full circle for you. You're entering into a new cycle. Now, when you enter into a new cycle, it's not just as simple as, you know, your relationship changes or your job changes. You know, it's a whole different, everything changes, you know, all new situations and circumstances. Some of you, for those of you who have been taking action towards starting a new job, like if you've been applying for jobs and whatnot, I absolutely see you starting a new job, 100%. But also, this is weird. I don't think I've ever seen this come through a general reading before. There's somebody you fell out with in the past. And again, this is not romance, so friend or family. I don't have any family energy in here, but again, it's whoever comes to your mind when I say this. And somebody you fell out with that keeps a very close eye on you. And I think they want closure. They want closure, but with the Two of Wands right here, I don't know if they're actually taking action towards coming forward and getting closure. They're probably afraid that it would just end up in conflict. So they do be keeping a very close eye on you, though. And they're also seeing you making upgrades in your life. Like I said, especially those of you who have been taking action towards starting a new job. Eight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. Now, for those of you who haven't been taking action towards starting a new job, for the month of May, you're stable. You're good. And honestly, this looks like for the foreseeable future, you're stable and good. I don't think you really have anything that you need to worry about anytime soon. At least not for the next 2 or 3 months. Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. Looking pretty stable as far as all that goes, but whoever this is, honestly, it kind of feels to me like a friend you may have fallen out with. But again, whoever comes to your mind when I say this, they're keeping an eye on you. You know, they see you upgrading your life, or at least it looks like it from their perspective. And they're contemplating coming forward and getting closure, but they're just afraid for some reason that it would spark conflict. So with the Two of Wands, I don't really think they're making a solid decision as far as any of that goes. Okay. Well, let's get some general advice. What's the general advice for Taurus? General advice. What general advice do we have for Taurus? General advice for Taurus. Ooh, the Sun card, man. Hey, hang on. Let's see what else comes through. Three of Cups, Hermit. Okay. So, I think this is more towards those of you dealing with whoever this is you fell out with in the past. Again, whoever comes to your mind when I say that. You know you're not required to actually have a conversation with somebody to find closure. Ideally and energetically speaking, that's it. You should, but I kind of have a feeling that there's a reason why this person is afraid it'll spark conflict. Because it will. Because it will. I don't know why it will, but I think both of you know that it will. So if you're dealing with somebody like a family member, that kind of energy usually happens with family, you know. For some reason, I don't know what it is that gives family members the idea that they have a license to treat you however they want just because y'all blood, you know. But whoever it is, if you are very certain that, you know, contacting this person would not be a very good idea, then don't do it. You are perfectly capable of forgiving someone and loving them from a distance. From a distance. And you don't even have to tell them. Again, ideally, it works better if you do. But every now and then you got them people that it just would not be a very smart idea if you did that. You know they would try to play it, take advantage of it, something. I know I have a few people on my list that they may think I'm mad at them, but I'm not. I've forgiven them. I love them. I keep a close eye on them from a distance, but I don't trust them. I know that me telling them that would not be a very good thing, you know, because I do not ever plan on having them back in my life. And when you come forward and try to give someone the gift of forgiveness and whatnot, they'll try to weasel their way back into your life. And when you don't let them, then they're going to blow up and, you know, it's just going to be drama all over again. So as long as you know in your heart that you've forgiven someone, that you've made peace with the past, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. At the end of the day, that's all that really matters. Don't ever fall for letting someone judge what your intentions are. That's where you got to stand rock fucking solid with yourself, man. You got to stand rock solid with yourself. I know what my intentions are. I know where my heart is. I know what my feelings are. What you think means nothing. Think in one hand and shit in the other, and tell me which one fills up first. You know? So, you got to stand solid with that. But yeah, just know that you're perfectly capable of loving someone from a distance. If this is somebody it wouldn't be a very good idea if you connect with. All right, let's move on to the love portion. So now I want to see what's happening in May between Taurus and the new person. Taurus and the new person. Newest person in your life. What's happening between Taurus and the newest person you just connected with recently? Two more shuffles, two more. Whoa, okay. Wow, Knight of Swords reversed. 10 of Pentacles. 5 of Wands, uh-oh. Okay, so this looks like one of those types of connections that looks good. It looks good from the outside looking in. You might look good to the public, look really good on social media. Some of you may start getting compliments from friends and family, you know. Oh, I'm so glad you're happy. It looks like you finally found the one for you and this and that. But you all are having a hard time connecting at the deepest level. And I think it mainly has to do with miscommunications. Because it looks like miscommunications is starting to build tension. And if it hasn't happened yet, going to start leading to some conflict here. You might be feeling an internal battle between ego and intuition because you can't quite tell if this person's up to no good or if you're just overthinking it or maybe if the two of you just aren't a vibrational match. You're having a hard time making that distinction. But there's something in you that just kind of feels like this person might be playing emotional games with you. Maybe emotionally unavailable, emotionally manipulative. But you're having a hard time. You don't really know. Now, I don't really know either. It's hard to say here. Some of you dealing with a Cancer. That's the only major arcana I have. You know, it could be anybody. That's just an energy. Yeah, horrible communication. This person's a fucking terrible communicator. Well, let's see what their energies and intentions are. I don't even know what to say about that yet. Let's see their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions. New person Taurus is dealing with. What are their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Shoot, 8 of Swords reversed. So right now, the main thing they are doing is they're looking for red flags in you. Yeah, they're still in the middle of a healing process from their last relationship. Person's kind of superficial too. Could be a fellow earth sign for some of you, but materialistic. You know, they put most of their time, effort, and energy into surface level shit, you know. And again, I always say this, but I'm not one of those fake spiritual public figures that's gonna pretend that money is a bad thing. Okay? I'm not saying that. Money is not a bad thing. I'm all about making a few dollars, buying the toys you want to buy, having the experiences you want to have. I'm all for that. The problem is when you dump all of your energy into money, material things, surface level shit, and little to no energy into what's going on the inside, you know? Honestly, when it comes to intentions, I don't think this person's coming from a bad place. I don't think so. They are still in the middle of a healing process from whatever it was that happened in their last relationship. And right now, they're kind of keeping you at a bit of an emotional arm's distance while they look for red flags in you to make sure you're not going to do them the way the last person did them. And they're a horrible communicator. So they haven't made up their mind 100% as to whether or not they're ready to spend the rest of their life with you. But I think they intend to, as long as you check off all the boxes, I think they intend to. You know, I just don't really think they know how to handle that situation, you know, because they're not connecting with you at all. They're afraid to connect with you. They're taking the stance of, I'm keeping you at an arm's distance until I decide I can trust you. Well, there are so many things that can go wrong with that. I don't even have time to break all that down and explain it. Okay. I think their intentions are solid, though. Now, that doesn't mean that their actions are solid. And it also doesn't excuse shitty behavior. But just so you know, their intentions aren't coming from a bad place. So if you choose to excuse shitty behavior, that's cool. The main reason why I read intentions is to give you the chance to make your own informed decision as to whether or not you choose to excuse shitty behavior. That's up to you. That's up to you. There's some things that if I know your intentions, I'll let it slide. There's other things that fuck your intentions, you cross the line. And where we draw that line is different for everybody. So that's why I read their intentions. It's up to you as to whether or not you want to let it slide or cross the line. So, all right, well, let's see how it plays out for the next 60 days. From May to July. How's it playing out? Taurus and the new person. Tower card reverse. So an ending is being prevented. But it's getting close. Y'all are flirting with a collapse of this connection here. So you're hanging in there, you're being patient, you know, hoping that one of these days things will level out and click into place. But with the Empress reversed, it just doesn't really look like you all are finding a place of solid stability just yet. You're kind of starting to wonder whether or not you're just wasting your time, and communication is not improving. Some of you dealing with a Libra, could be a fellow Taurus for some of you. I also have Sagittarius and Aries here. Oh, I got Leo here too. Could be anybody. Those are just energies. Let's get the advice. Let's get the advice. I don't even want to put my 2 cents in on that yet. This could go in 2 different directions, so I'm going to hold off on putting my 2 cents in until I see what comes through. What's the advice for Taurus and the new person? Justice. 2 more. Okay, the 8 of Cups reversed. So there is potential here. It's not necessarily 100%. It's not to a point where you need to walk away yet. But it's getting there. It's getting there. Because, so when we very first meet somebody, of course, we're not going to know each other overnight. You know, we're going to slowly open up to each other, slowly learn new things about each other. But we have to continue letting our guard down and digging at a deeper and deeper and deeper level. If we don't do that, and a certain amount of time passes, eventually it's going to get to a point where I have no choice but to either open up and let you in or start lying to you. That's what happens when the guard stays up for too long. Eventually, if I don't open up to you, I have no choice but to start lying to you. What I would do, and I don't know what order you want to do these things in, just whatever feels right. But one of the things I would do, first, express your concerns like a calm, cool, respectable, rational adult. I just got to throw that in there. I know most of you will, but, you know, sometimes you see people, they express their concerns, but they do it like an angry, bratty toddler, and then it causes a fight, and, you know, then that just doesn't fix anything. Express your concerns like a mature, rational, calm, cool, collected adult. Okay? Also, too, if you want somebody to open up to you, you do have a little bit of a responsibility. Okay? Now, it's not all on you, but there are a couple of responsibilities that you have. One of the most important things that you're going to need to do if you want anybody to open up to you is to do the best you can to let it be known that they are safe to open up and be themselves around you without being judged. You're safe. You can be you around me. I'm not going to look down on you. I'm not going to look at you funny. I'm a fucking human too. I've done dumbass shit too. I got toxic traits too. You know, you're good to be you around me. I ain't going to judge you. Whatever it takes for you to let that be known. And one of the easiest ways to let that be known is to start opening up and being vulnerable first. Now, once you do all that, the rest of it is on them. The rest of it's on them. But you could potentially start steering this in a different direction. You could. Death card reversed, Eight of Cups reversed. It doesn't necessarily have to come to an end just yet. There's still a window of opportunity where you all could take this in a different direction. And those things are the things I think I would focus on the most in the very beginning. Okay? All right, now let's see who's coming in next for the singles. Who's coming in next for the single Tauruses? Who's coming in next for the single Tauruses? Ooh, Justice reverse. Could be a Libra for some of you. Hang on. Last one. Ooh, I do think it's going to be long term. Yep, this is going to be long term. 100%. And I don't really think this is somebody that you currently know. Okay? I don't think so. With the Page of Wands right there, this is more than likely a totally brand new person that you have not met yet. So this is a long-term soul contract. I think that at the time you meet this person, they aren't actively looking for a relationship at the time you all meet. Not actively looking for it. Matter of fact, I think for a lot of you, this person just made the decision to focus on themselves and be single. And that's how it works, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Doesn't it? How many of you bought my last 2 courses? Attracting Your Life Partner, Manifesting Financial Abundance. The Financial Abundance course had the science behind how manifestation works. For those of you who saw that, that's why it happens this way. That's not a coincidence. Anyway, though, yeah, it's going to be a long-term contract, though. It's just this person is a little bit conflicted because they just made the decision to focus on themselves and be single. And then, boom, here you come. And now they're like, damn it, man. What do I do? You know? Could be an Aquarius for some of you. Could be a fellow Taurus, but the Empress comes out every time I read for Taurus. So I think that's your energy. Also got Cancer here. Gemini. All right, let's look at their feelings, energies, and intentions. What are their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Next person coming in for Taurus. What's their energy look like? What kind of person are they in general? What do they want with you? How do they see you? How do they feel about you? Knight of Swords reversed. Well, this person's also not the greatest communicator in the world. Ace of Cups reversed. They are afraid of getting hurt, man. Oh, they're afraid of getting hurt. I think, like I said, it's gotten to a point where they've almost given up on love altogether. At the deepest level, they want what we all want, to settle down with their divine life partner. But I don't know if their last relationship ending just hurt them that bad, or if they just dealt with liars and cheaters with every single person that they've connected with, or what. But it's like they're really starting to lean towards the idea that the whole love thing either doesn't exist or just isn't for them. Maybe they're like, maybe I just don't have a fucking life partner out there, you know? So they're kind of jaded. They are a little bit jaded. They don't exactly have high apple pie in the sky hopes when it comes to finding their life partner and settling down. But that's what they want at the deepest level, you know? Okay. All right. Well, other than that, it looks pretty solid. Other than that, but this sounds so much like the last reading I just did. Sounds so much like it. So they're probably going to keep you at a little bit of an arm's distance. Yeah, okay. Well, let's see how it plays out for the first 60 days after this person shows up. How's it playing out for the first 60 days? High Priestess. Ooh, the Star card, Sun card. Okay. So it's going to be a little bit of a slow start in the very beginning. But I'm thinking that by day 60, you all are both realizing that you're unlike anybody they've ever dealt with before, and they are unlike anybody you've ever dealt with before. And I think you all are starting to come to terms with that in the first 60 days. Things are still moving slow, you know, still moving slow, still a little bit of tension there, you know. Might be a couple of disagreements, You know, maybe an argument or two. Other than that, though, I think y'all are both really starting to realize, holy shit, maybe this is the real deal. It just might be. All right, well, let's get the advice. What's the advice for Taurus when the next person comes in? What's the advice? What's the advice for Taurus when the next person comes in? Ooh, King of Pentacles reversed. Of course, communication. Of course. Strength card. And the Queen of Cups, Emperor. Okay, so you got to be pretty rock solid in yourself. You want to be able to give this person just enough leash to be able to be themselves on their own terms. You know? Just enough leash. Don't be too pushy. Don't be too demanding. You know, let it be known, hey, I'm here. I'm rock solid. I'm fucking ride or die. But you do you on your own terms. You do what you do, and you do it on your terms. And after that, the only way to really prove to somebody that you're not going to do them the way the last person did is through time. Time, patience, and consistency. Because how many times have we heard that? How many times we heard somebody swear up and down that they ain't going to do you like they did the last person? You ain't never met nobody like me. I'm one in a million. You know, we've all heard that shit. And then they turn right around and do exactly what they said they wasn't going to do. How many times have we heard that shit? So how do you prove it to somebody who's probably heard that a million times? Time, patience, and consistency. You show up, you show out. You be who you say you are, do what you say you gonna do. Make sure your actions match up with your words match up with your actions, and stay consistent. And after a certain period of time, as long as the person is looking for it, they're going to be like, damn, maybe you is the real fucking deal. And the guard will start to come down. The guard will start to come down. So they're just afraid of wasting their time, and you're afraid of wasting your time too. But as long as you're rock solid with yourself and you give them just enough leash to be themselves on their own terms, I think they'll eventually end up seeing that you really do mean business. And this could easily turn into a very successful potential life partnership. It very well could. Don't be afraid to take things slow. You know, we got the rest of our lives. Every now and then I see this little meme floating around social media that says, I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. Huh? What? You mean you can't wait until your life is over? That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. We got plenty of time, and it's going to take time for us to grow together and evolve together and learn and change and bend and flex and evolve and transform. That shit takes time. Be patient, okay? All right, y'all. I feel like those were the messages that my Taurus family needed to hear, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is right down there in the description. All right? I'm out of here now, y'all. I'll see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.